Hey guys, hope you're doing well and good. Alright, in today's content, I'm going to share you how to fix understaffing problem. If you ever have come across staffing issues with your business, relates to your helpers, your chef, or your managers, please do watch this content because I'll be sharing you about the reason why you have a problem with a staffing issue with your business. Alright, let's get into the content for today. Alright guys, so for today content, how to fix understaffing problem, we're going to share about a very short and in brief description why there is always understaffing problem in a restaurant business or a small retail business. Right, one of the things that I want to share with you is based on my experience with working within a small business owner. Here's one of the things that we have to really understand is that people come to work with us with a great hope and expectation, but that hope and expectations usually are not aligned with the business owners or the way the business is conducted. So you tend to have your employee or your staff working with you for a couple of days and they try to realize that it's something not working well with you. The reason is because I have been as a helper for many time in past, and I also have observed how this business owner treat with their staff. One of the things that many business owner has to understand is that you may not be a big organization, right? But you have to come up with a concept of creating a proper community just like a bigger organization. What I meant to say is that people would like to work with you for a long time if you take care of them. If you have a proper set of community, then they will want to work with you. And most of the reason why people quit is because there is constant demand, a verbal demand actually, from business owner most of the time. And when the business owner does not meet the requirements or the expectations from the new staff or the staff that working with them, they tend to have a very, huge, big communication gap. And in between those gap, there are things to happen that a lot of unsatisfactions comes up, and those unsatisfaction results tend to, you know, demotivate the employees or the staff and for the business owner. So my way of taking action and to look to improvise this issue is by understanding the first thing is why should somebody work with me or in my restaurant business, right? So who are our candidates? Who are our applicants? Who are our future employee? We have to understand them very well. Like I said, you may not be a big company, but you have to conduct the business as a well-organized company. So you will always want to have some sorts of a manual to make it understandable for the new staff so that they can not just follow on your daily verbal communication but also follow your policy, your guidelines and roles and job responsibility, right? So this is kind of a way to directly and indirectly instruct your new staff. But in this content, I'm going to share you from the viewpoint of your new employee. And this is based on my experience. So let's get into the contents for today. So understanding employee purpose and objective. This is very, very important. When somebody come to you to work with you, you have to really understand what is the purpose and the objective of the employee to work with you. Mainly, there are three reasons why people want to come to work with you. Number one is the admiration of product and services. They admire your business, your community, the way you conduct your business, how you take care of your current staff, employees, and the benefits, everything, right? And the second one is, as I've mentioned, the cultures and the value. So basically, you have to have the great community within your business so that everybody are aligned to the same missions and the objective of the business. And when you have this proper and standard way of conducting the culture, right, people will never, or they will not just leave you, but also promote you and contribute toward their excellence for the growth of your business. And the third one is company growth and success. People also want to work with you by looking the growth of your business, how popular you are, how expandable you are, how flexible you are, and how you're competing in the market and getting results towards the success of the business, right? So these are the three things that people usually looked into before they come to your uh, business, or they join, or the purpose of their being into your or interest to work with you is these are the three key points. So we have to make sure that these three key points are in place and we are able to meet this for the new staff. And so the next one is the company goals. This is what the company has achieved, right? Admirations of products, services, the growth of the company's cultures and value. So these are the three key points that the new recruiting, the new candidates uh, looked into it, and they expect to have the same thing within the company or the business. So to meet these things, employees usually have two key factors. One thing is the needs and the wants. So the want usually would be a temporary, but the needs are more kind of a stable and a long-term expectation. So let's look into the needs of employee. Number one is stability, right? If your business is able to provide a stable job, basically, why would people be stable in your business? The first thing is, again, is your business providing the three things, the key three factors that they are enrolling to your business, right? The stability also depends on these three key points. The first one is the salary. The second one is the incentive and the bonus, all right? And the second one is leadership, the growth of the new employee, and the authority that you have assigned to the new employee. And the third one is the responsibility, which is the job title, and a communication system with the or within the business, with the business owner or the managers or within the staff, right? And the wants are recognitions, appraisals, rewards, credits, right? Ownership, business, within the business, they have the ownership of the business and the community, right? They are serving well, they are recognized within the community as well. So I'm going to, these are the actually of needs and wants that I have observed. So what I'm sharing you here, you probably may be able to find in some other contents provided in Google or YouTube or anywhere else, or you know. But these are my kind of a key observation. So if you want to take a point out of this and implement on your business, I believe you will be able to get a better results than the current scenario, how you operate the business. So let's focus on the employee needs, right? So as we mentioned earlier, it's about the stability, right? So the salary. So why do you have to provide a proper kind of a salary? Say not a minimum salary, but a stable salary, is because they want to make sure that they are independent. They don't have to borrow every month or month basis from anyone, right? They don't want their account to be negative, or they don't want any insufficient funds. So they want to make sure that the money that you're going to be paying fixed in a month is stable, and they can plan their things for the longer term. So salary is one of the things that they want to look into it, and the incentives and the bonus are the perks that you want to provide, right? So the salary causes them to be more independent, and that's when they will be able to contribute more towards your business because they rely on you and the business will rely on them. So why do we have to provide incentives, right? The reason why we are providing incentive every now and then to the staff, to the employees, are because we want them to take the leverage, right? Which what I mean to say is that enhance your skill, right? When you pay somebody incentive, it's not because they just been in the business. No, based on the performance of the person, based on the way they want to contribute towards the business goals and mission, the way they want to, enhance their skills that they can bring into the business growth. So for all those things, you want to provide them incentives every now and then. Incentives can be provided every week or every month. So you have to make sure that you are not just giving them a salary, right? You are giving them incentive as well. And also, you must want to fix this in your business way of conducting is to provide bonus. You don't want to provide, you may split the bonus amount, but you want to provide those bonus every 6 months, 2 times in a year, just to make sure that the new staff have some more expectation, right? It should see everybody wants to make money, either the business or the employee, right? Nobody wants to live within the cap, right? There should not be a limited way to monetize or make the money of your or whatever like the income that you want to earn. So creating a bonus, not necessarily 1 time in a year, but if you can split, it's really really helpful. And I have seen that people who are getting bonuses every 6 months are kind of a better, more performer, and they tend to stay very very long in the business. I have everywhere I work, I usually tend to stay for a long period of time. And the reason is because not only to me, I have also observed that many other people as well, they tend to be more aggressive in their uh, responsibility. What I mean to say is that they tend to be very much into the business because they know it. The harder they contribute towards the business, they're going to achieve this incentive, they're going to achieve this bonus. So you are not restricted them, or you are not limiting them. So when you do not limit them, you must be awarding them as well. So this is what is the expectations of the stability for the candidates in your business. Now the second thing is the leadership in growth, right? So you don't want to keep the person as an associate for longer time, maximum maybe like 1 year. Every year you want them to be promoted, and every year you want, if you're not promoting as well, you want to increase their salary at the same time. Just a couple of bucks, couple of dollars, that's fine, but there should be an increment in the salary, plus also in the organization. They have to have some sorts of authority. They have to have some sorts of promotions, right? Uh, which means basically you are initiating them more responsibility and also paying them higher, packages as the term goes longer. So, and the next one is authority. Authority means in charge. See, there are two kind of people who takes actual, take control of the business properly is when you are assigning people the responsibility, the authority, right? So let's say we have someone who is the manager for that particular business location or for that restaurant, right? Now let's say there are chances sometime that most of the time I would say, right, you are doing as an owner or you assign the business manager to do the task, but most of the time uh, it's not possible for all these lower level of staff or any staff to contact and make decision by from the take that kind of a responsible, what do you call it, they don't need to have the access to the managers most of the time. There are some basic things, some certain things that the the staff should be able to take in charge of those. So when you give this kind of a uh, authority to the people, they tend to be taking more responsibility because everybody wants to take the responsibility. So let's say if the customers complain, they don't you don't want them to be like, okay, talk to my manager, talk to my boss. No, right? You don't want them to. But when you give them the in charge responsibility to any staff, it doesn't matter who they are, and everybody. When you give them the in charge and the authority, they don't have to escalate to the next management level. So basically, if there is complaints to the customer, they should be able to resolve at that point. The customer should not expect the next manager, the supervisor will come and resolve the matters. No, you must train your people to take the responsibility and give them the authority to resolve the matter, right? So that is the reason why you need, as an employer, you need the proper guidelines on things how to do, right? And as we mentioned earlier, the last point on this needs is responsibility. So job title is one of the thing, and the communication. So job titles also matters a lot, but it's not the first thing that it is important, right? But when you are giving some sort of a kind of higher level of a job title to the people, they tend to carry that responsibility within them because if you are given some kind of managers, assistants, or senior staff, something like that, right? They tend to take that responsibility because of the job title. You understand what I'm trying to say? So it's these are all mostly it's not logical at all. It's all about emotions. So if you can help your new staff to to conquer or say to take over the small issues and take the initiate with whatever the rank, the levels they are, with their designation, they will be able to initiate more responsibility, take more responsibility on whatever they are doing. So they don't need to be instructed every now and then. Nobody likes to be instructed now and then. But how do you do that, right? You do it by just giving them a proper job title and a great designation that they should be entitled to and should be taking the responsibility based on that. So the last one is the communication. Like I mentioned earlier, in charge, right? Communication and in charge is the same thing, but what I'm trying to say, access to all means, in case of situations where you need kind of a good assistant, the person should not necessarily have to wait for the next managers to take the permission from anyone. Because I know there is a hierarchy system, there is a process that they have to escalate one by one to the top level, but it is really good to resolve issues instantly or try to fix the problem instantly. So for that reason, you want to be very transparent in your communication with your staff. The staff should be able to openly, full open-heartedly, they should be able to express their thoughts, their wills, and their wants. So direct communications is very, very important. So if you can take care of this communication part, they will be able to, personally involve and would consider to stay longer in the business. And as we have mentioned earlier, the wants is very temporary. So, but how do you fulfill the wants of the employee, right? Recognition is one of the most key factor that employees wants to stay. So it's not necessarily you have to appraise, every now and then, but you might want to conduct like weekly meetings or monthly meetings and all those stuff, right? So you want to verbally appraise, give them some sort of a good service certificates or good service reward. It's all about the rewards, right? So you want to give them appraisals, right? Give them a reward. So give them a credit. It should not be like, I have seen it, right? So let's say somebody does a very good work, right? And that person served very well. The customers are happy about it, right? At that point, it should not be the managers or somebody else who should get the credit, but it should be the person who served the customer and make the customer satisfied. That person should get the credit, not their managers, nobody else, but that specific person, whether he is the newcomer or the senior people working in the organization or in the business. The person who did the actual action and resolved the matter should be credited all the time. I have seen that people at a lower level try to do their work at the best, but somebody else earn the credit. Nobody like it, right? The world has changed. It's not like 10, 20 years ago. People in these generations want credits, right? They want recognitions. They want appraisals. They want rewards. These are not expensive. Do you want to spend more money in hiring or training the new guys, or you just want to keep the old guy and train them every now and then by rewarding them to stay longer with your business and stay with your business mission, right? So the last one is the ownership. So when I say about the ownership, I'm not talking about that you have to give some ownership of the business, right? But let's say, for example, I'm one of your employee in the business, right? I want to talk about my business, right? I should be able to talk about my company, right? It should not be that people shouldn't think that I'm just working there, right? What I mean to say is like, I want to talk about the company that I work for, the good thing, the bad things, because I'm part of that company and I have the right to talk about the good and the bad things about my company, just to make sure that I have the ownership in this company. Anything that I do, I say will impact the business. So I need to have this ownership to talk about my business as well. In a company, people used to usually say, and in the HR section says that for anything related to the company, please, you know, let the owner speak or let the HR team take care of it or the media team take care of it. Usually, you don't need all those things, especially if you're in a small scale business. You don't need it. You just have to make sure you train your people very well to take ownership of the company and treat them like their own business. When you do that, they have the kind of a emotion power, I would say, that they want to take the whole responsibility and direct the business toward the right mission and community. The last things is about how to involve your people within the community, right? So, for example, when I say community, it's not necessarily within the staff. Let's say you have a social media, for example, let's say YouTube or Instagram or TikTok, whatever that you do, right? You want to promote your new staff and introduce your new employees to your community, right? Make them feel good within the community. Talk about him or her to the community. For example, you hire someone else, right? And share these pictures of the new staff to the community, to your Facebook page or Instagram page. Well, just welcome the person and talk about what are the good things this person can bring in. So when you do that, you are indirectly initiating the responsibility of the ownership to that new staff. And that point of time, because that person is now known within the community, the behavior, the concepts of maintaining or working around the company will change, right? If you try to work too much on logical things, I'm telling you, it's not gonna work, right? With a living being, with people who has emotions, you want to work with emotions, right? Not logical things. Logical things, if you really, really want to work out, you might just blame everybody, but you do not know that you should be the one who should be blamed as a business owner. All right, guys. So I hope this content was kind of helpful for you, but it's just a quick take. So if you'd like to know more about these things, I always would be, glad to assist you on. But all these things comes up in one particular, how do I say, like a kind of instructional guideline system. So basically, as we talked about earlier, you gotta create a community, right? To create a community, create a value. The only thing as a business owner is you just do not talk all the time. I've seen many managers, business owners, they just talk about it, and that kind of build up a pressure on the people working with them. Whatever you do, please do have a paper written documents or a guidelines and instruction so that you put on a wall that everybody can see it and know where they stand and where they are expected to achieve the target for the business, because we want to work as a family, not an individual, right? When you work a family, you take care of everybody. So as a leader or the business owner, please do have your manual set up properly and assign each person to go through those manual properly so that everybody works within that process and procedures and build a good community guidelines for within your company. Hey guys, right. I hope that this content was useful for you. Please, if you do have any takeaway from this content of today, feel free to share your comments, your feedback, your suggestions in the comment section. Until we come up with the next video, you guys have a good day and take care.